but everybody shares the same instigating event in the story and understands it together. So one of the most important parts about this is the filth, which is this black substance that you see scattered all over the place. We're going to be coming back to the filth during this presentation and talking more about how important a role it plays in the story of the Secret World.
Hi guys, my name is Martin Brusgaard. I'm the lead designer of the game. And now we're going to take a quick look at the basic combat mechanics. So as the player is playing the game, he's getting XP from many different sources. Doing tasks for your secret society, doing missions, killing monsters, crafting, and PvP. And the XP bar is located here at the bottom of the screen. And as you can see, it's divided up in 3 segments. When the player fills up the first third, or 1/3 of these, he will be getting an ability point. And it looks like this. If he fills up the whole bar, he will be getting a skill point, which looks like that. And the player can spend these points in the ability wheel. So this is the ability wheel. It holds over 500 unique abilities, and the player can own every single one of them on a single character. We have lots of cool different abilities spread out over 9 different weapon types. We have shotguns, pistols, assault rifles, blades, hammers, fist weapons, blood magic, chaos magic, and elementalism. Now, there are 2 types of abilities. The active abilities that you actively press to make something happen, for instance a sword attack or a sniper shot. Equally important are the passive ones. The passive abilities affect your character all the time, and they can really alter the way that the active abilities work. Now, of course, you can't run around with 500 abilities, so we're asking the players to make a choice. You have to pick out 7 active abilities and 7 passive abilities, and that is referred to as a build. Now, every single square here is called a cell, and they hold 7 abilities. And the player has to buy these sequentially, starting from the top with the more basic ones, and then going all the way down to the 7th ability in the cell. The 7th ability in every cell is an elite ability. They're super cool and very special and awesome. And the player can only equip 1 elite active and 1 elite passive. Now, there's tons of synergy in this system. There's synergy between weapons and synergy between abilities. So a lot of the player's skill comes from combining the right weapons and the right abilities that has some sort of synergy in order to optimize their performance. We're going to close this window now and take a look at how combat flows. So here we have a character wielding an assault rifle and a shotgun. Every weapon in the Secret World has a resource, and you build resources either on yourself or you build resources on the target. Now both shotgun and assault rifle builds resources on the target, and you can see these tiny pips above the monster's head. You put those resources on there through abilities referred to as builders, but you can consume those resources with consuming abilities for extra damage or some cool effects like healing or crowd control, lots of different cool things. So you build resources and you consume resources. Now, every weapon brings something unique to the fight. You can play as a damage dealer with any weapon, but they also have a secondary role. For instance, assault rifle has leeching abilities. A leech ability lets the player get back in health a percentage of their damage output. It's really nice for dealing damage and a little bit of healing as well. Shotgun is really good for fighting multiple enemies at the same time because it damages everything in front of them. It doesn't, a lot of the abilities doesn't even require a target. He's also joined here with by a guy wielding blood magic. And blood magic is really good for applying damage over time, dots, but also these protective barriers that will absorb damage. You'll also notice that the player can move and fight at the same time. And moving and fighting at the same time is really important in the Secret World because there are a lot of bad things that you can avoid by moving, reading the monster's animations and caring about your surrounding, basically. So as these guys are approaching this huge temple, a big boss appears. And this is a nice opportunity to showcase one of the important features of the Secret World. We don't have any classes. You're never locked down to a play style. And right now, the character is playing a ranged damage dealer, but we need somebody who can tank this guy. So we need abilities that lets you hold aggro and also soak up a lot of damage. So we can do that through the gear manager. Here in the gear manager, we've already pre-made a build with hammer and sword abilities. And we can click the little eye here to see what weapon it holds, the gear, and the abilities. So with a click of a button, we can go from being a ranged damage dealer to a melee tank-like character, just like that. And this is a really, really important part of the secret world, not being locked down, adapting to your surroundings.
All right, so as I mentioned earlier, filth is a very important part of our story. And as players have been exploring Solomon Island and the Blue Mountain, they've stumbled across signs of the filth. In this case, they're coming upon an abandoned CDC encampment. And the CDC were here looking into the filth before the disaster occurred on Solomon Island. So the players need to use this opportunity to find out more. And what better way to find out than by talking to Mariana Chen, the sole survivor of the CDC, a group that was sent out here. So we're going to jump into a conversation with Mariana Chen, who will tell us a little more about the filth.
Hey, halt! No closer. I'm getting some weird readings. You might be infected. Everyone here might be infected. I'm with the CDC. I represent the government, so you have to listen to me. This is a quarantined area, and I have authority here. That's why I'm wearing the suit. That's what the suit means. It means the fecal matter has hit the fan, and we're staring Phase 7 dead in the eye. Frankly, if it didn't violate protocol, I could really use a hug. I feel very vulnerable, especially after the others were exposed. Terminally. They expired. Died. They died. Horribly. Cursing, screaming, gasping, vomiting, clawing their own eyes out. It was icky. And then, when it's finally over and they're all dead, you think, hey, that sucked, but it's done. They're gone. We can deal with that. But oh no. Rising from the dead, shambling ghouls, glowing eyes, tentacles, black slime. Not even your standard government-grade Category Z reanimated corpses. This is brand new terrifying. Run for the hills terrifying. Despite all that training, you just want to skedaddle. It started down in that bog, just before the fog came. We'd been shipped in to support the Irachi group, not the other way around. I thought with a Democrat in office we were past these kinds of dodgy arrangements. But I guess absolute power corrupts regardless. And absolutely. Just like this Category A agent, the filth. It corrupts absolutely. Body and soul. Yeah, the filth. That's what they call it, for real. How the hell do you work with a name like that, the filth? You're just asking for it. So if I were you, I'd keep my distance. Safety first.
Alright, so in the secret world, characters are not just begging you for help every time you run across somebody in the world. Sometimes they'll tell you a story and they'll tell you to stay away from something. But players have their own agenda, their own initiative on behalf of their factions. And they have to pursue that. So in this case, we're going to hack into the CDC lab.